social media was really getting me with my insecurities, big time. It was making, I already had some insecurities, but social media was making it worse. There's a lot of large industries that profit billions and billions and over years trillions of dollars by us being stuck in the fight or flight response state.
Peace out, man.
Peace out.
No.
Oh, I just...
All right. Hey, you know, it's okay. It's all right. If you've ever tried to talk to AI, it's even funnier because they just always have a little something extra to say, or not talk to them or typed with them and stuff. They're just always a little bit more. So, all right, on to learning things. I wish we could just, you know, not learn for a minute, but we can't. So, if we heard a loud bang, boom, outside right now, what might it be? Tree falling, okay. Say it again. A bomb, okay. Gunshot, all right. Say it again. A little louder. A space shuttle, okay. Airplane, all right. Love it, love it. That's what I'm talking about, guys. So, yes. I'm just gonna leave that there. Or no, I'll say something. The reason why each person gave a different response if they heard something is because everything that they've been through puts a filter on the way they think, the things. All right, so if you go to Japan, tipping is seen as disrespectful. First names in Germany aren't received that well. If you go to Eastern Europe, smiling is seen as insincere. When a crime is observed, very often, if there's more than one witness, what's the deal if there's more than one witness? They all tell the same story, slightly different variations. Okay, cool. Even if they saw the exact same thing. It's just like I said, because of our experiences, the things that we've been through are just as influential to the way we think as the information being provided by the five senses. Okay? So it kind of looks like this. Up here in our brain, we have the beliefs, and all of those are put there by the experiences. And Dr. Jennings does a lot better job explaining this part of the brain, but they're up in the front of the brain. There's this thing called the orbital prefrontal cortex. And the orbital prefrontal cortex is kind of always scanning the environment to see if it's safe, to see if we need to, if y'all remember him talking about the salience network, to see if we need to sound the alarm, okay? And so that is always going. There's always this radar going out into the world. And like I was just saying with those previous questions, trying to highlight that because of our experiences, everything that comes back to us from that radar is going to have that filter of the things that we've experienced. All right? So far, so good. I use this example. Sometimes it clicks a little better than other times. That's the ADHD, I can't help it. But we'll just say, prior to coming into Honey Lake, my beliefs were that I needed a substance. I needed some kind of substance to get through the day, at least enjoyable. My belief was, I'm either going to have a substance and a good day, or I'm going to have no substance and a blah day. Blah. Okay? That's what I believed because that's what I experienced. That's what I believed. And so coming to Honey Lake, I started having, now I had a lot of bunches of time that I was sober. Okay, I'm not talking about sober. I started having these days where I was free of substances, but they were actually good days. So I started to have a different experience, okay? Started to change the way I saw the world. Before coming into Honey Lake, if there was ever a vacation or something to go to, I'm trying to find out if we can drink or smoke or do something like that. That's just the way I saw it. So the way I saw the world was through that filter. But after coming to Honey Lake, after having days, I started to see the world differently. I started to see, hey, I can do this. Because I've had 30 days where I've had no substances and I've been experiencing some really positive emotion. Loving life. So I'm starting to see that it is possible. So therefore, the way that I see the world, when I leave Honey Lake, there's going to be a different filter. You follow? Those who don't know me, I'm repetitive in my stuff. I try to get some of these are the things that really highlighted to me when I was at Honey Lake. And so I try to really get them stuck in your head, because when you get out of here, you're going to be like, what now? And so I try to get certain things stuck in your head so that if you do kind of start freaking out, you'll know what you can start doing. Okay, so in the world that we live in, it programs us to have a negative bias. One part of that is for survival. For a long time, you had to be kind of high alert to stay alive, okay? I mean, I always used, Pastor James is not right now, but I always use this example that he comes up with, and he says, you know, back in Jesus's day, you had to pay a tax to go on a protected road. You know, the roads that were guarded by Roman soldiers. And so if you're not paying that tax, you can't afford that tax, and you're going down that other road, right? Okay, so that's part of it. There's a lot of large industries that profit billions and billions, and over years trillions of dollars by us being stuck in the fight or flight response state. So I think that they put a lot of money, and underneath people that are putting a lot of money into different industries, I think is the enemy. I think the devil is behind it, but he's got to use certain things. And so I think if you'll, and maybe I'm wrong, but to me, when I look at like Hollywood and the news and social media was really getting me with my insecurities, big time. It was I already had some insecurities, but social media was making it worse. Does anybody take a bunch of pictures and put your worst picture up? No. So everybody's putting their best picture up. And so you get on there and you start comparing where you're at with everybody else's best moment. And it becomes really easy to start for the depression to get worse. And then all the apps and stuff, they're triggering the release of the dopamine, getting us hooked to these social medias and so we're hooked to these things that are not programming us with the right kind of thinking. It all comes together in my things. I kind of zip, but we'll get it together. Also, my mentor, I guess you could say, when I first came back, he went on, but his name was Ted. The reason why I say that is I sat under every single class that I possibly could of his. But he highlighted, and there's other psychologists that are pointing it out these days, that for the longest time, if you get a test back, you're getting the X's marked most of the time. Most of the time. So again, it's just another little thing that starts programming us to kind of see the world in a negative light. Get that negative filter, those experiences. So then we have that filter, and the way that we look at the world is through that filter.